Sometimes the greatest love stories don't begin with romance.
They begin with loss.
This is one of those stories.
It begins in a land where food had failed, where hope was thin, and where three women stood at the edge of their future with nothing but grief in their hands.
Naomi had once been full. She had a husband. She had 2 sons. She had a home in Bethlehem, a place whose name means house of bread. But when famine came, the bread disappeared.
And like many families in hard times, they packed what little they had and moved to a foreign land called Moab, hoping life would be kinder there.
At first, it seemed like it was. Her sons grew. They married.
One married a woman named Orpah. The other married a woman named Ruth. But then,
tragedy came in waves.
First, Naomi's husband died. Then, not long after, both of her sons died too. 3 women, 3 widows. No protection, no income.
No clear future. In that culture, this wasn't just sadness, it was danger.
Widows had no safety net, no inheritance,
no guarantee of food tomorrow. And Naomi felt it all.
She didn't just feel empty, she felt finished.
One day, she heard that the famine in Bethlehem had ended.
Food had returned.
Life was possible again.
So she decided to go home. She turned to her daughters-in-law and said, "Go back to your families. Go back to your people. May God be kind to you." Orpah wept.
She hugged Naomi, and with a broken heart, she went back.
But Ruth stayed.
Naomi tried to push her away.
"Go back," she said. "I have nothing left to give you. No future, no security, no promise." And that's when Ruth said words that would echo through history. "Where you go, I would go.
Where you stay, I will stay.
Your people will be my people.
Your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die." This wasn't just loyalty. This was covenant-level love. Ruth chose uncertainty over comfort. She chose faith over familiarity.
She chose Naomi over an easier life.
And together, they walked back to Bethlehem, 2 poor widows with no plan, no money, and no idea how they would survive. When Naomi arrived, the town barely recognized her.
She said, "Don't call me Naomi anymore.
Call me Marah, because my life has been bitter." She believed God had forgotten her, but heaven was already writing a different story.
To survive, Ruth did what the poor were allowed to do in those days. She went to the fields to glean.
That meant picking up leftover grain behind the harvesters. It was hard, humiliating work. Long hours,
hot sun,
uncertain safety, and by what looked like coincidence, but was actually divine orchestration, Ruth ended up in the field of a man named Boaz.
Boaz was not just any man.
He was wealthy, he was respected, and he was related to Naomi's late husband.
But more importantly,
he was kind. He noticed Ruth, not just as a worker, not just as a foreigner,
but as a person.
He asked about her. He learned her story.
He heard about her loyalty to Naomi.
And something in him was moved.
He told his workers to protect her.
He told them to leave extra grain for her.
He invited her to eat with them. For the first time since tragedy struck, Ruth experienced unexpected kindness. That evening, she went home with more food than she ever expected.
Naomi was shocked. "Where did you work today?" she asked. When Ruth said, "In the field of a man named Boaz," Naomi's eyes widened.
She knew that name. She said, "That man is one of our family redeemers in that culture." A redeemer was someone who could step in and restore what had been lost: land, family, future. For the first time in a long time, hope entered the room. Naomi began to see that maybe God hadn't abandoned them after all.
Time passed. The harvest season continued. Ruth kept working in Boaz's fields, and Boaz kept watching her, not with lust, not with control, but with honor and respect.
Then Naomi made a bold plan. She told Ruth to go to Boaz at night in a respectful
and humble way and ask him to take responsibility as her family redeemer. This wasn't a scandal.
It was a request for protection, for covenant, for future.
Ruth was nervous, but she trusted Naomi. She went, and when Boaz realized what she was asking, he didn't mock her. He didn't reject her.
He said something powerful. "I will do for you everything you have asked, because everyone knows you are a woman of noble character." But there was a problem. There was another man who had the first legal right to redeem Naomi's family.
Boaz promised he would settle it the right way. The next day, in front of witnesses, Boaz confronted the matter.
The other man chose not to take the responsibility.
So Boaz did.
He redeemed the land. He redeemed the family line. And he married Ruth,
the foreign widow, the poor gleaner, the woman who chose loyalty over comfort. And in time, Ruth gave birth to a son. Naomi, who once said her life was bitter, now held a child in her arms. The women of the town said, "God has not left you without a redeemer." That child grew up.
And generations later, from that family line, came King David. And from that line came Jesus.
Think about that.
A Moabite woman,
A grieving widow.
a faithful choice.
A kind man. And God used their story to shape the future of the world.
This isn't just a story about romance. It is a story about choosing faith when life makes no sense, staying loyal when leaving would be easier, God working behind the scenes when you think he is silent, and how ordinary obedience can lead to extraordinary dynamic today. You feel like Naomi, empty, tired, disappointed.
Maybe you feel like Ruth, working hard, unseen, unsure if it will ever pay off.
Or maybe you're like Boaz, wondering if kindness still matters in a harsh world.
This story says, yes, it does. God sees the field. God sees the tares. God sees the quiet faithfulness. And sometimes the greatest miracles don't come with thunder and lightning. Sometimes they come with daily work, brave choices, and steady love. Because in God's hands, even loss can become legacy. Even pain can become purpose. Even a broken beginning can become a beautiful story.